Hi everyone. Today I'm going to sharpen some globals. I know you've seen them a million times, but this time it's a little bit special. There was a chap who bought his globals in, and he had a friend who also had a set of globals that he was going to throw away. I said, why is he going to throw them away? He says, I took them to another sharpener and he destroyed them. I said, oh man, I hate hearing that. But why don't you bring them over and I'll make the assessment. So he brought them over and they're not too bad. I'll show you. All right, we've seen far worse than this, haven't we? A little bit of scratching, but that's not too bad. We can certainly work with that. Obviously done on a sanding belt, but these are totally restorable. So I said, look, I'll make a video for him, and that sold him. He said, oh, I'd love to see him on YouTube. So here's that video. Now, the video is not going to be super detailed close up. It's just a video of watching me work. So you're going to be there. I'm going to be here. I'll zoom in a little bit, but I'm not going to move the camera. We're just going to make it an observational movie. So I'm going to get his done first. I've got two sets here, plus a Santoku. And I should be able to do them all in the one film. It won't take me that long, I suppose. But if you enjoy just sitting back and watching me work, this is the video for you. All right, so let's get started. We'll start off with the G2, because I love these. Grab the new modified KJ45 jig and pop it in there. There may not be too much talking in this movie. I know some of you like my conversation, but sometimes I run out of conversation as well, which some of you may be pleased to hear. Let's have a look. So what angle am I going to do them? I'm going to do them all at 14. We did 13. If you remember that lady who brought them back and said not really quite sharp enough, I did them at 13, but 13 I think gives them a really large bevel, and unless somebody specifically requests that, I don't like it that much. So I'll set these. First of all, let me measure my wheel angle. We need a hot rod for the background. There you go. Merch, merch, merch. Buy merch, or if you don't like buying merch, you can buy chili, a snack. Head over to the merch store, which is isharpen.com. Sorry, not .com. isharpen.shop. Head over there, and we'll see. Oh, that's right. Measuring the wheel. Still at 220, which is amazing. I've done probably a dozen knives on the same setting. So if I don't adjust the wheel too much by using these diamond plates, it's going to last for a long time. So let me change this back down to 14. Set this to 220. Lower it down a little bit, and this is my everyday. This is what I do. I just sharpen. And so some of you who are interested in opening your own business, it may be of interest to see how long it's going to take me to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 knives. We'll see. Okay. Lift the water up. Make sure we're getting full swimmage. Is it swimming? I think it is. The wheel is fairly straight, so we can get straight into it. I'm really glad that I'm able to save these knives. So I'll do everything on the fine setting on the wheel. Now that sometimes takes me a little bit longer because it's not removing much material. But this silicon carbide wheel, the Blackstone, the SB for Baz, SB250, is very sharp, has very sharp grit. So it can bring this back up very quickly. So yeah, I don't know why he thought they were destroyed. Maybe they just came back blunt and said, oh man, he made them worse. But as we've seen some pretty horrific knives. So lucky for him, these weren't too bad. Now I can already see the burr developing there, and I can feel it. So this one's nearly done. Now speaking in American dollar terms, because I know a lot of you are from America, Australians, you know how to do the conversion. If you're going to be charging to do sharp knives, there's a couple of things you need to keep in mind. First of all, how sharp are your knives? If you can slice through a tally-ho, or the equivalent of tally-ho is Rizla Green. Tally-ho are made by Rizla. If you can slice through like I'm about to show you in a minute, then you're as good a sharpener as anybody will ever need. Right? I don't do hair whittling because I've got no hair. But if you can get them to slice through a tally-ho cleanly, then you're okay to start charging. And in American terms, you can charge 10. I charge $12.50. In Australian terms, that's about 20 bucks. Now, you might say that's a lot of money. Well, it is and it isn't. There are people in my city charging $40 or even $80 to sharpen a knife. Now, granted, they use the stones and they take a long time, but if the Tormek can make that process quicker, why wouldn't I use it? But let's just say you're charging 10 bucks US. Right, you can add them up and see how long it takes me to earn what. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm going to earn that rate all day, every day, because I'm not busy all day, every day. But will it be enough for you to stay alive? I think so. And it's a great little side gig. You'll pay for your Tormek even if you bought it brand new, and I never buy brand new. I always buy used secondhand. But even if you buy them brand new, my audio on? Yep. You'll get your money back very quickly. Right, so burr to the top. Couple of light passes. Just to start off with. In case the burr comes off with a couple of light passes, that's a good thing. 2. Still there. And even though I'm deburring freehand, which makes some T8 users clutch their pearls, I'm very careful to make sure that I don't lean it up too much. Try and keep it on the bevel, and you can feel when it's on the bevel. And remember, you're not trying to polish the bevel, you're just trying to remove that burr. Smooth, smooth. Oh, bit of a catch. Should be smooth enough. Or maybe a little bit more. Using a very light touch, letting the compound do its work. Ooh, I've got a catch there. I wonder why. Did I miss a little chip? I can't see a little chip. I might have to put it under the microscope. People have been asking for more microscope footage, so let's see if this qualifies. Yep, just there. I'll have a look first, and then if I see anything, I'll bring you over. Get those torches around. I'll have to come in closer. Oh, I got an email the other day, yesterday, from a company that wants to send me a machine to test. So that'll be exciting. Now, I can't see anything yet. Let me put a mark where it should be. Right there. Excuse my back. My marker went onto the blade. Right at the edge. So let me just do that again. I cannot see anything. Right, let's try the other way. No, I can't see anything but clean edge, so that's weird. Maybe it's a bit of stubborn burr. It was. It's gone. But that's good, the microscope was there to help me out. Right, let's see how sharp it is off the wheel. For those of you who don't have a kangaroo tail strop, or any other strop, there's no excuse for not having a strop. Just grab any old piece of leather. It's better than nothing. See how it's pushing that top flap up? That tells me it's a little bit crusty. So I'm going to use my kangaroo tail. So yeah, very excited for the package that's going to come in a few days. It's something that you have been telling me that I need for a very long time. Can you guess what it is? Oh, Groovy. Watch this. If you can get your knives to act like this, you are ready to start charging people. See, no paper pulling, no nothing. Magnificent. Number one done. Give it a spritz. And that's one knife saved from the bin. I'll pop it on there so I don't. In fact, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pop that there. I'm going to give you something to look at. Nice sharp edge. I'll put the finished ones down here. No, wait, I'll put the finished knives away. I'll put the ones that I haven't done yet here. Now these are all straight knives, so they won't take me long. Number two is the, what are these called again? Bunker? Bunker style. Nice. Birds chirping. Chili was a bit ill last night, but he got it out of him. I worry about you, mate. Don't want you being ill. He felt bad because he was ill, but I sat with him. He was fine in the end. Lean that over a bit because it's a bit narrower. Perfect. Again, I'll show you. This one, remember, these were ready for the bin. But I don't think so. I mean, it may not have been a super duper sharpening job, but the guy didn't destroy them, which is good. Kudos for that. I'm very glad that he changed his mind and decided to give me a chance. So again, if you want to make a comment but you're not sure what to say, you want to just participate, tell me where you're from and what device you're watching on. Is it your telephone, your television, your iPad? Is it a Max phone or is it a mini phone? And tell me what you like or don't like about my videos. What do you want to see? What do you want to see less of? You want to hear me talking less? Like all this jibber jabber? Or do you don't mind me just talking like a normal bloke while we sharpen? Oh, I can see a nick here. A couple of nicks, so I'm going to have to keep going. I'm loving this blackstone, especially on the fine setting. I mean, that feels fairly fine. That feels probably 900, 1000 grit. And because the stones are so sharp, those carbides, just makes short work of it. I'm very happy. I would say at this point, I'm happy to recommend that you buy one of these instead of the SG, because you'll certainly be able to do all the high-speed steels for sure. And the biggest concern was that it was too rough for knife sharpening, but it certainly is not, as you just saw by that last result. That's as good a result as I've ever got on any wheel. So, as always, this show is sponsored by me, my own shop. Go and buy a Baz knife. Reports are people are loving them, right? VG10, Damascus steel. Let me quickly show you while we're having an advertisement moment. This is my own personal one. I like it because it's got the black. Well, let me turn my light around a bit. I like the black stripes in this one. I've ground it a lot. They come with a much finer bevel than that, but I've been playing with this one just to see what's in there. And look at that, beautiful, genuine real Damascus cladding knife, which means you're going to see the layers as you grind down through them eventually. VG10 HR60 plus. I call it the RW212 because it's 212mm, which is around about 8.3 inches. Comes with a beautiful sheath. So if you don't have a magnet or a block, you can pop it in the sheath. Grab one at the iSharpen.shop. That's the end of the advertising. All right. I appreciate you watching. I've heard recently that when you tell people to like and subscribe your video, it's death to the video. People hate it so much they click away. So if you're still here, good on you, like and subscribe if you haven't already. All right, that's this one fixed. I like it. Maybe a little bit more on the heel. Good burr. Always compound before you deburr or hone. Honing has a finality to it, but I think this is the deburring stage. I think stropping is the final stage, but they call it a honing wheel, so we may as well. And this is called honing compound. I use Veritas, so look up Veritas, VER. ITAS, I hope. Never do maths or spelling. Veritas, this is it here. Because I know everybody keeps asking me, what do I use? There's Veritas, honing compound. Pate abrasive. Oh, you see that one didn't take as much. A little bit right on the end. Beautiful. Does it need stropping? Because if you do the honing right, it doesn't need stropping. Sharp is sharp. Sharp is as sharp does. Not bad. A little bit of pulling. See that? How it pulls that front paper up? It wouldn't do that if it had a beautiful edge. So, let's give it a few strops. I'll try it first. If it works, I'll bring it over to you. It's a bit noisy. I love working from home. I feel like I'm on holidays and I'm playing in my shed. It doesn't feel like work at all. I could be out here all day sharpening knives and I would feel as free as a freeman. Yep. Highly recommend this to anybody who's sick of their factory job. It won't take you months or years, like some people say, to get the hang of this. Buy a knife, sharpen it, blunten it, sharpen it, blunten it, sharpen it, blunten it, and you'll get the hang of it real quick. And this is the test. Go to your local tobacconist and buy yourself a box or 2 or 3 of Rizla Green or Tally-Ho papers. And if you can do this, beautiful. Bonza. And if you can do this, oh, come on, man, you're making a fool out of me. Oh, it was great a second ago. Let's try it again. Could be sometimes it's the paper. It's never the sharpener. Right. That's weird. Things never go smoothly. Put it over the suede side. That's pretty good. Maybe it's just a bit camera shy. See if it wants to perform in front of you. Lovely. Beautiful. Well, we've got a serrated to repair as well. We'll do that. Okay, let's do the medium utility next. I once did a job for a lady. She was an elderly lady and of means, and every time her Wusthof knives would get blunt, she'd just put them in a drawer and buy a new one. She had a whole drawer full of old Wusthof knives. And I said, one day somebody convinced her to just let me sharpen it. I don't know who it was, can't remember. I sharpened it and I said, bring all your others. She said, maybe I will. And with that serrated one, it's been flattened a bit, which means all the peaks have come off. So I'm going to try and put some new peaks on just gently, using the Japanese wheel there. If this is the first video of mine that you've ever watched, I'm Baz, that's Chili, and this is I Sharpen. Got my Findon hat on. I work out of Adelaide, South Australia. But I accept world knives, I accept Australian knives from anywhere in the world, anywhere in Australia. Send them to me. Write me an email first so we can have a discussion about them. I'll sharpen them and send them back in a few days. It's a good thing. I'll usually record a video about your knives as well, because it's kind of interesting. This one's got a little chip, so I have to do it a few times to move past that chip. No chips. You're feeling a bit poorly, mate. Sometimes he has too much grass. Which reminds me of a party I went to in the 80s. I know how you feel, Chili. I had too much grass once myself. That's not true. Or is it? These are coming out really nice. I'm really glad and grateful that I got a chance to repair these before they were thrown away. Because obviously I make business, but I just love saving old things. Are you the same? I think that's got it. Yep. And no, the new thing that I'm getting is not another Tormek. Although I did buy one the other day, but then the guy reneged and sold it to someone locally. It was a bargain. And he wanted $1,000. $1,000 for a Tormek and some jigs and a wheel. That's a bargain. These days in Australia, a brand new Tormek T8 probably set you back $2,000 with a wheel and a couple of jigs. But even so, a couple of grand to start a business, that is a bargain. You could easily make a full-time living. Now you figure out how long it's going to take me to do this and how much you would have charged for each knife. Marketing is the hard thing, but I've got some tips for that too. A little bit more right on the end. I would love a really powerful microscope. That one's not bad. It's from Vivor. But it's only got, I don't know what its physical resolution is, but it says 1440 on the screen. I think there are some 8K videos, microscopes that you can get. Maybe not 8K, 4K at least. I've seen plenty of 4K, but these days 8K would come on. Will be around soon. Okay, let's test it. That is magnificent, but you know me, I cannot help but give it at least a little bit of a rub on the leather. Just a couple of strokes. I'm confident enough to bring this one to the camera. Oh, a little bit of dragging. You want that paper to sit still and practically faint. But if you can't get it to faint, that previous cut, that's fine. I just really want to impress this guy. See how it sits still? That's just the wind blowing. Oh, that's what you want. Beautiful. Quick look while you're up here. That's a Tormek edge. Some people don't like it. I like it. I think that's beautifully sharpened edge. Nice and fine grain. Lovely, jubbly. Might have a sip of coffee from my 15-ounce I Sharpen mug. So this morning, this bloke is trying to get my attention for breakfast. I don't give him breakfast until I've had mine. And he's pouring at me, and he hit the coffee cup and it went all over my keyboard and my whole computer area. Oh, I never yell at him. I do call him dude. Never yell at him. People who yell at dogs need themselves to be yelled at. Okay, this one's got a little bit more damage. All right, bit of a dent there. What's it look like on the other side? Yep, that's definitely a dent. It's very odd to see a dent, isn't it, on a Global? Normally they get chipped. We'll grind through that. Now, normally, or sometimes, when I get a chip or something like that, I'll go over to the sander and I'll just run this edge over, just like that, straight on the sander. So if it was a wheel, I'd be hitting it like that. But you can also grind past it. It just takes a few more passes, which I'll do that this time. Oh, check the angle. Actually, I might stand this one up a little bit more. That's probably about 32 degrees. We'll see what it looks like. Some of these utility and the paring knives, they can get a bit fat from the factory. Actually, you know what? That looks a little bit small. I think it could handle a few more degrees. I'll show you what I mean. Also, you can have a look and see how much 2 passes did to that dent. See, it's almost gone. Still a little bit there, but see how that looks a bit small, the bevel? I mean, you might like it like that, but I think that can handle a little bit more. So I'm going to lean it over a couple of more degrees. Okay. Saves a lot of time not having to grade the wheel, doesn't it? Yeah, that looks better. More sharply. I can see a bird developing. A couple of more passes and this one's done. Had a comment the other day, they said, your videos are too long, mate. I said, I don't think they are. I think that people enjoy just sitting back watching somebody work. Well, that's what I'm banking on anyway. You can have me on in the background, and plus I have conclusions. It's not like a normal video that has a story and and a middle, an intro and a middle, and then the conclusion at the end. My movies conclude every 4 or 5 minutes. I get a conclusion. That's a knife sharpened. So you can watch one knife or you can watch many. But I think the slow down culture is starting to catch on. Why are you so in a hurry? Done. No dent left. Large-ish bevel. What do you think of that? Not too bad. Certainly stay sharp for a long time. In fact, Engineering Eye tells us, are they the same? Yep. Okay. Tell me, what do you think about these fixed angle films? If I'm not juggling the camera around in all sorts of different locations, it saves me time, encourages me to make more movies because they're simpler. And all I have to do is maybe do a little bit of zoom in every now and then if I want. But I figure that this is like you sitting there on the chair and just watching me work. When people watch me work, they don't just come up right up close and say, well, I want to see up close what you're doing. They're happy to sit back there and just watch and listen to me stories. Had a bit of a catch right at the top there. Beautiful. Let's test it straight off the wheel. Not bad. So if you did not have a strop, that would be more than sharp enough to deliver back to your customer. Now I'll show you what it looks like on the magazine. You show them this, they'll be happy as anything. Happy as anything. Lovely. But you know me, can't leave well enough alone. Give them a couple of little cleanups. The reason, of course, for those of you who don't know, the kangaroo strop has got, or the kangaroo tail strop, it's got very strong fibres that reach into those grinding marks and pull out any of that micro burr that might be hanging around. And micro burr is the enemy. Any burr is the enemy because it can expose itself because it's loose and cause premature bluntness. Oh, like a sharp knife through a tally-ho. Aeroplane in the background. Love hearing small planes in the background. What is that all about? I don't know. Others have said, yep, it's a thing. Can you hear it? I don't know, it's just peaceful to me. I love it. I love it. Oh, he's going to be really happy at these. These may be sharper than they've ever been for him. Now one more little paring knife, then we'll get on to the serrated. That's always interesting for people who have not seen how I do those. For those of you that have, it's a joy to see. Oh, Mr. Chilling. Oops. Don't assume the angle. That's fine. Probably closer to the 30 than the 28. And that's included angle, that's both sides, so 14 degrees per side or 15 degrees. I mean, 1 degree really, who's going to make a notice? I mean, who's going to notice that? Is it going to make a difference? Maybe, maybe not. I personally think that we're making far too big a deal about the angles. People get their undergarments in a bunch over silly little things. Done. It didn't take long, did it? A little bit uneven here. I'm going to try that a little bit better. Nice. You alright, mister? Maybe even it up. I use my engineering eye. If it looks crooked, it is. If you can't quite tell, it probably isn't. I'll look at it with a customer's eye, and if they would think, gee, that's a bit uneven, mate, what are you doing there? They're not going to get the micrometer out and try and measure each bevel individually. They're just going to look at it. It's getting a bit of a knock, knock, knock. Might have picked up a piece of metal. I don't mind giving it a bit of a rub on the 320. That's very smooth. That takes it out to about 960 or 1000 grit. And then I can make it even smoother by using a wooden peg or piece of dowel. People ask me, what sort of wood is that? I don't know. Do you wooden guys know what sort of wood this is? What sort of wood is this? Do you know what that is? I don't know. It doesn't look like a hardwood, although I do have some ebony there I could use. But I love ebony, so I don't want to use it just on a grinding wheel. Woof. What are you woofing at, mate? Oh. How sharp is this? Oh, great entry. Oh, I've got a wet blade. But look at that, that's slicing through like a slicey through thing. Give it a quick clean up. Oh, look at that. That is great. He's going to love these. All right, that's the end of that. Now I'm going to do his serrated, and you can have a look here. You can see how there's no peaks left. Now that should technically get a full regrind, but I don't have that wheel. See, look at that. There's almost nothing there. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to use this Japanese wheel. It's got rounded off corners, and I'm going to try and sit in there for a little while and see if I can get some more peaks out of it. Let's just see how sharp it isn't. Not too bad. A little bit teary. Oh, okay, well, it's more bluntener than I thought. So, crank this old girl up. Put some water in. And you can watch from there, it's the same thing. You've seen this a few times, and if not, I've got some movies. Now these are, well, we'll see. Um, no, looks like it's a bit wobbly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch over. You can see that that's not a really beautiful cove there. You see the shiny bits, but see how it's a bit uneven? I mean, it's getting on there, but I'm not happy with that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop this wheel off. And change it for the Sun Tiger. This guy here. This one has got a, you can see, this side's very sharp, this side's got more of a radius, but it's more even. So I'm going to use this side. Now this sun really absorbs a lot of water, so I'm just going to have to let it sit there for a minute. Let me just shape that. Got a few nicks and bumps in it. Still should do the trick. Let's see how we go. Oh, this one produces smoke. That's right. Yeah, much better. I'll do a few coves and I'll bring them over for you to see. Sometimes you have to rock it over a little bit and move it around to get as much of that new cove as possible. Oh, low on water. I don't know where that smoke comes from. Can you see that? That's so funny. Okay. You can see from the back that I am digging in more. See, over here's the old, here's the new. You can see that that is creating new coves and putting a bit of a shine on the top. Well, it's not a perfect grind, but it does improve. That's not smoke from heat, trust me. I don't know what it is. It could be just the wheel crumbling. Need more water. I think the shape is a bit weird, so I'm going to try shape it a bit more. Nice. I charge a little bit more for these because they take a bit longer. That's cool. Again, that's not heat, that's not steam. This feels cold to the touch. Yep. I'll show you what I don't like. It's making weird shaped grooves. See them? They're a bit offset to one side. Look at that one. That's a bit incorrect. So what I'm going to do, yeah, this has got grooves in it. This has got grooves in it, so that's what's causing those ripples. Yeah. I'm going to try something. The SJ didn't do this. So I don't know why this is behaving that way, but it may not be the best choice. Let's go back to the SJ. Could always use an old SG. Put a radius on that, but that's very coarse. It doesn't take long before it's destroyed. So I'm going to turn this around and try this other edge and see if that helps. Yeah, it feels smoother. Much better. Alright, I'll start again. Just give them a little touch. So it looks like this trick only works with the SJ250, not the Sun Tiger. Don't know why. The Sun Tiger puts grooves in, which we don't want. And as always, if the customer's not happy, I'll just buy them a new knife. I have a contingency account with money saved up so that if I do damage anybody's knife, I'll just replace it. Easy. I'm always open and honest with everyone when it comes to that. I like to show my little mistakes and errors and adjustments so that you can all learn as well. Because life's too short to learn from all your own mistakes. You've got to learn from others. Not that everyone's got an SJ wheel lying around that they don't mind mangling. But this one was sitting around not really doing much anyway, so... Might as well use it for something. Yeah, this is working as expected. Look. You can see it's not perfectly even, but you can see that it puts a little silvery... That's the SJ wheel working there. See, it's a little bit offset. That one's still a little bit wonky. I might go and do that again. But in the use, it won't be noticed. Sometimes you have to move them around to get them super even. You can see where you're grinding and where you're not. So it looks like the back side, this side here, is not getting as much as the front side. So I can adjust that by leaning the knife over more towards the side that needs to get more grinding. I'll give them all an initial grind and then assess. If I have to go back and do some more teeth, I will. I'm pushing quite hard. I'm not trying to match the angle of the bevel. I'm just trying to put a new edge on it. I think the coves are actually angled quite severely. And what I'll do is I'll ask the customer to use it, tell me if he's happy or not. If he's not happy, I'll just grab a new one. It very rarely happens. In fact, it's only ever happened twice to me. The first time we came to an arrangement where he kept the knife and I just gave him a bit of extra discount. Okay, and you can see towards the end, this is perfect. See? Nice. That silvery edge on the top is me. Might do these first few again. Try and even them out a little bit. Now, if you're going to criticise me, don't come in all guns blazing, because I don't suffer that much. Make polite suggestions, things I could try. If you're going to be a dick about it, then I won't have you on my channel. I consider my channel my house. You don't come into my house and start abusing me. But suggestions are accepted if you can be grown up and mature about it. I think that's fair. Alright, now I'm going to give the back a little bit of a touch. Although the backs are normally flat, this one's already been touched, so I may as well try and improve it a little bit. Alright, let's see how that is. Sort of better. What's happening? Might need a little bit more work on the top. Feels very prickly. Oh, that's what it was. Just needed to work those peaks a little bit. Lovely. That was a rocky road, wasn't it? But you can see that there's a lot of glistening going on. On the back a little bit, just a touch on those peaks. That shine, that's me. That shine, that's me. Alright, well, hopefully he's happy about that. Oh, you know what else I could do? Give it a bit of a stropping. Now, I've shown you before, but I'll show you again. So the way that I do the serrated knives is I always have some overhang. See that? And that overhang allows me to put the strop on the corner of the bench, on the edge, and just run them down like that. Alright, let's see if that improved. That's nice. Okay, that's set number one. Done. Now here comes another, just like the other. Pop them down. Now we have another serrated, a smaller one, little sausage knife. Utility and the Santoku. And the paring knife. So let's do the big global first. Try and zip through these as quickly as possible. How am I going for time? How much did I just earn there? Well, how much would you have just earned there, according to whatever you want to charge? Per hour. Because don't forget, you could do this after hours as well. Keep your normal job. And on weekends and that, you can play around in the shed, sharpen people's knives, make a few extra bucks. Oh, set this. Oh no, still set to 14. Now my stats tell me that 90% of you who are watching this are not subscribed. So that's interesting. I mean, the algorithm will still feed them to you, but it'd be good if you could hit that button. Well, good for me anyway. and good for you if you want to get more knife sharpening videos. If not, then just keep doing what you're doing. But if you like the knife sharpening niche, if you subscribe to me, they'll send you some of the other channels as well. Like Outdoors 55, he's good. Cliff Curry, Honed by Jones, Melbourne Knife Sharpening. And a couple of those European chaps who do fantastic work. You can see how it's pulling me? That's the friction of the wheel against the knife. And if I just had that little tiny flap that these new KJ jigs come with, it would be almost impossible to control that. It would be all over the joint. With a good proper thumb cup, and I'm trying to develop these, remember? With a good proper thumb cup, you get much more control, good clamping. You can clamp hard against this, hold it, and really take control. I can see a bird developing, so this one will be the last pass, I reckon. What should I call these longer videos? Relax and watch? ASMR? Enough of you have told me that you don't mind the longer ones. You just put me on in the background and you like to listen to the grinder. Some Aussie in the background. Now, speaking of Aussie, I'm going to address a pet hate and an incorrection. An Aussie is a person. Oz is the land. So you don't say somebody's from Aussie. No, that's incorrect. A lot of you New Zealanders like to say that wrongly. The Aussie is from Oz. I'm an Aussie. I'm from Oz. Got it? Don't make that mistake again, or it'll be 15 of the best. Push-ups, I mean, of course. I wonder how many of you have watched this far in to remember that. Make a comment down below to show me that you've watched this far in the comment, start your comment with Aussie, not Oz. That's A-U-S-S-I-E. Aussie, not Oz. I thought of a competition idea, and one of the ideas I had was, in order to win a prize like a Baz knife or even a Tormek T8 one day, if I can afford to give those away, is to watch the videos and look for keywords or letters of a phrase and then put the phrase together at the end over a month, and that way I'll get views and you get to win a prize. What do you think of that idea? I'm not the first to come up with it, but I think it could work. Or another one is to leave the competitions to the members only. I'm going to be starting a membership soon, as soon as I can figure out how much to charge and what to include. And one of the things I would include, of course, is discounts over at the merch store, so you get your money back straight away. But also the ability to win things. I'm not sure if that's against the terms. Might be. Ooh, nearly there. Oh, that's beautiful. You know, it could also be that my wiping the rag on here, this is microfiber, that may also remove a few little micro burrs. What do you think? Could that be true? Make a comment. Give me the old nah, doubt it, or yeah, nah, could be. Let's have a look. What's it like off the wheel? Well, a little bit of drag down. Pretty bloody good. Is this mess making your eyes flutter? Check it out. And for those who say, oh, he's cutting on the crease, that's why it goes through so easy. Look at that. No crease. So, stick in your bums. Well, you know what I might do is I might just take this corner off because it's pretty dangerous. And that way, it's nice and rounded off, and no more danger. Pop that in there. We'll grab the Santoku. Do that next. Chili's having a dog dream. Perfect. How hard am I pressing against the wheel? The answer is quite hard. I want to keep it stable and even. And with the water licking up on the edge, there's no chance of overheating. That's one of the benefits of a Tormek, of course, is that it keeps the blade cool. Burr achieved. Evenness. A little bit more work on this nose or tip. Done. Heels could do with a little bit more work. The trick to getting an even heel is to slow down a little bit and dwell just for a bit longer, because it's always fatter at the heel. And watch for the burr to come up. When you see the burr pop up, you know you're done. A little bit more on this side. Beautiful. Beautiful. Engineering eye says this side needs a little bit more on the belly. It's easy to go too fast around the belly, you've got to slow down. And just because you're finished on the belly doesn't mean you can speed up through the rest of it, otherwise you'll get flat spots or facets. You don't want that. Oh man, now this side needs a bit more. That looks even. Beautiful. And most of them are needing 2 passes, so I'll give them 2 passes straight off the bat. Oop, a little bit more on the tip. How is it off the wheel? Not bad, a little bit crunchy, but geez, that's pretty bloody good. That noise you can hear of the ridges. You want that noise. Pretty good. One little catch. Little prickle coming off. Now we give it a flipperoonie. Oh. Look at that, no liftage. Magnificent. Geez, that was a bit low on the camera. I hope you saw that. I'll do another one. Lovely. Well, this doesn't fit in there, so we're going to have to put that on the tea towel. Nailed it. I'm still recording. I've done that before. Yep, still recording. Ooh, coming up on 2 hours. It's a biggie. Can't say I don't give you value for money. So how many knives did we say? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 times whatever it is you want to charge. Probably take me a little bit over 2 hours. So what's 13 times $12.50? Or in Australian terms, 13 times 20 bucks. $260. And I asked permission from the owner for me to mention the money. He said, yeah, no worries. We've seen your work, mate. So that's about 130 bucks an hour. Or if you're charging 10 bucks, still a good rate. You know, 50, 60, 70, 80 bucks an hour, that's great. Nothing wrong with that. Where can you go and get a where can you go and get a second job that will earn you anywhere near that amount of money? You could charge half my rates and still make good money. You'd have to do a lot more work, but that's cool. We're not afraid of a bit of work, are we? I've got experience, I've got social proof, I've got 280 5-star reviews on Google Maps, so that gives people a lot of proof. I've got my YouTube channel, that gives people a lot of proof. They can see me work, they can see that others were happy, and everybody who I ask say, no, we saw your reviews, man, that's why we're here. So reviews are very important if you're starting a business. Don't fake them. People will tell. Don't fake them. Do them for free. If you have to, when you're starting, get your relatives and all that, do their knives and get them to go and put on honest reviews. Or if you want, you can advertise free knife sharpening in exchange for a review. Probably wouldn't do that, but you know, that's an idea. You could always run an introductory special, although people do not like to send their knives off to people who are just starting off. So you're better off building up your experience, and so that way people know that they're dealing with an experienced knife sharpener. You don't want to be saying, oh, I'm brand new at this, give us your knives. No, that's bad. You can either promise razor sharp or not. That's all you have to do. If you can slice through one of those papers, I guarantee you are razor sharp. I know these super long movies won't get me many views, but as long as I'm affecting you, one person who's watching this and appreciating all this info and seeing how long it takes me, that's all that matters, because the effect you have on others is the most valuable currency there is. Who said that? Who am I quoting? Do you know? I want to check. Perfect. A little bit of liftage, but mostly very good. I'll try a little bit of suede. Now, for those of you who are overseas who cannot get kangaroo tail, which is the best stropping material on earth, try buffalo or horsehide, as long as it's not coloured or flattened or shined. You don't want it shined or flattened or coloured. You want, it's called a crust. The crust is the raw hide. That raw hide is the raw hide that has been only tanned with vegetable, which means killed all the meat, and it's going to just stay like this forever. Vegetable tanned crusts. That's what you want. Somebody showed me a picture of a beaver tail the other day. That had a lot of lumps on it, but it was coloured and shiny. You don't want shiny. Oh, that's fantastic. Nice. I'm getting comments on my YouTube channel as we speak. This one says, beautiful work and something. Always love when you guys tell me that you like my videos. Doesn't have to be an essay. Just say good work or you're an idiot or something. Don't call me an idiot. This one's got a bit of a chip at the back. This one had burnt over several passes ago, but I'm just working that chip now. Nearly gone. Light aircraft. Just want to check something. I just cracked 700 videos. This is going to be 708 videos. That's a lot of videos. Of course, I don't know if you remember, but my aim was to put up 1,000 videos and then judge and see if the channel has been worth it. Now, what do you think? Has it been worth it? It's quite inefficient, but you know, I'm getting a free present in a couple of days. Stand by for that video. It's a sponsorship. It's a machine they want me to try. So I'm going to try it. And I can keep the machine. How good is that? Just on that alone, it's a success. I'm not going to edit this movie. I'm just going to pop it straight up like this, raw. I might touch the beginning and the end, and that's it. It's going to take way too long to go in and zoom in at all the stuff. You've seen me sharpen globals before a million times. You don't need to see close-ups. This is more of a watching me work. I like to watch people work. I very rarely watch free TV these days. I like to watch engineering guys in their workshops. I like to watch welders, cabinet makers, table makers, watch repair, lawn mowing. I'm fully involved in this trend of watching people work. Who do you like watching work? Name some of your other channels. In fact, I wouldn't mind getting some recommendations if you want to see me. I watch Blacktail Studios. I love him. He's got a great editing style. He must spend a lot of time on editing. He's more of a voiceover guy. Wind. Beautiful. Utility. I always start off with the big knives, and that way, as I get towards the end, they take less and less time. Sort of like getting your pudding after your meat. How can you have any pudding if you don't eat your meat, right? We were taught that in the 80s. Great album. I bought the actual record, and I used to sit back as a kid, or a young adult back those days, and just put the big massive headphones on and let the record repeat over and over and over and over and over again. All night I'd sit there listening to that album. Of course, you know what album that is. What album is it? Let me know in the comments. What album am I referring to? How can you have any pudding if you don't eat your meat? Ooh, I'm getting low on water. I've got a chip at the back of this one as well, so if we give it a few more passes. That reminds me, I have not had a good pasty for a long time. Do you guys ever watch a guy called Greg's Kitchen, I think his name is? Grego from up at Brisbane way, Gold Coast. Is it Greg's Kitchen? Greg's Kitchen. Yes, go to Greg's Kitchen. He's hilarious. He makes, if you look up the ads, if you look up the videos, and remember, most channels make about $5 per 1,000 views. He makes way more than he spends on money. He goes around all the fast food and tries all the new foods that they're putting out. The this burger and the that burger. The other day he had some fish and chips. And it was just interesting to watch him do that. He's hilarious. Grego. So if you're wondering what sort of YouTube channel to put up, you could put something up like that. You should all have a YouTube channel because it's free money. All you have to do is be interesting or interested in something. So you don't have, if you're not interesting, if you don't think you're an interesting person, all you have to do is be interested. I'm interested in this. So my interest makes it interesting to you. You don't have to put your face on there. You can just be behind the camera talking. For example, there are folks who make pretty good YouTube money by just going to garage sales and boot sales and things like that, and rummaging. Or if you're into cars, go to a swap meet. and just record what you find. People will watch. I would love to watch that. And if you can get enough followers, you know, like I've got one of my long movies, the big hits, made 500,000 views now. That's incredible. That's the one where I talk about why I charge a bit more than others. It seems to have hit a nerve. Not hit a nerve, but you know, struck an interest in people. Everybody likes to know how to make money. Done. Nearly there, 2 more to do, including one serrated. I'm not sure about the serrated one because it's got very small teeth. It's only a little sausage knife, or a tomato knife some people call them. Wusthof calls them sausage knives. And so this radius is too broad for that. So I might have to bring the old Sun Tiger back on. Because that's got a very sharp edge on one side. Plus it smokes. That's so weird. What is with all the smoking on the Sun Tiger? What? Can you explain that to me? If it's dust, then why isn't the dust being absorbed by the water? There must be a scientific reason why that's dusting and creating smoke. Very weird. Nice. Pulling a little bit, but not bad for straight off the wheel. This is not necessary, it's just a nice thing. If you were to have just that wheel and my chrome oxide, which has some aluminium oxide in it, but you know, whatever it is, it's doing the trick. And maybe any sort of leather strop, you can get these results as well. Well, let me test it first. Oh, a bit pulley. This has definitely been GlobalFest 3, hasn't it? Oh, like a sharp knife through paper. Oh, come on, man. You're making a liar out of me. Isn't that weird how it's fine on this paper but no good on that first one? What the hell? Let's try it from the other end. Huh. So weird. Let's try it again. Huh. Oh well. So if you go to Greg's Kitchen, make sure you @iSharpen so he knows where you got it from. You don't have to want to be an influencer. I suppose I'm a bit of an influencer. I've influenced people to buy Atomic T8, especially where others had given up on them. I've said, no, there's a way to use these machines. To make a good living. And or just get your own stuff sharp. People spend $2,000 on lots of things. Mag wheels, you know, accessories for your car stereo system. You may as well spend your money where you're going to get it back. Beautiful. Didn't take much. Okay. I don't think that needs anything. Look at that. However, give it a couple of passes on the suede, which is very gentle. And we're done. Look at that, that's pushing. Magnificent. Magnificent. Right, we're on to the last knife. The serrated. Hello, Chili. Oh. You alright? I want to see you. Hello. Hello. What's happening? You alright? You were a bit sick last night, weren't you? Yeah. You alright now? Yes, he said. Oh. Do you want a snack? Let's give you a snack. You know they bought you a snack? This was bought to you by them. They bought you this snack. There you go. See ya. All right, now the serrated. Let's have a look at it first. So this is the serrated. You can see those serrated are very small, serrations, very small, so it's going to be a bit tricky to get in there. A little bit of mangulation on the back, that's just a bit of rust. But the rest of them are not too bad. Feels pretty prickly actually. I wonder if it even needs doing. I'll stop hoping that it doesn't need doing. Let's have a look. It's not too bad. Oh, the back looks more severe though. I'll show you. See that? A lot of burring. Oh, there's a broken tip. Another missing tip there. So it's going to need a touch. But this one is too rounded off, so we're back to the Sun Tiger. On the reverse side. And by the reverse side, of course I mean this side here because it's much sharper, see that? Right, that side round, this side sharp. But there's a couple of little weird nicks and things, see that? Right, that's not real flash, but I can work around them. And when you're reverse mounting a wheel, you need that little washer on there. Ooh. Not much thread there. So maybe on the Sun Tigers you don't need that washer. Actually you don't, because these are flat. But it's got enough grip on there, so that's alright. Let me see if I can give it a bit of a round over slightly. Take down some of those chips. You don't want to take them off too much. No, I'm going to have to ride them. Oh, give this a wash. Not much I can do about that broken tooth. Usually happens from trying to break through frozen food. Another broken tooth. Just doing the back now. All right, that's it. Feels very prickly. Let me just give it a bit of a rub on the kangaroo tail side. See how it goes. That's pretty good. Very happy with that. And so that concludes this long video. Now, if you have watched the entire video and you can remember the code words from before, the first person to post that they watched the entire video, and I'm going to know that you did that because you're going to ask for the pin. Pin me, and the 2 code words from before, and I'll pin you as the top comment. The first person who does that. And the rest of you, if you watched it all, please let me know, because I don't want to waste my time. But if you do enjoy these longer videos, perhaps it's an evening and you're just putting them on in the background while you're cooking or something like that, so you don't have to listen to all that commercial garbage that's on the TV, then I would appreciate knowing that. Otherwise, if you've just skipped forward and backwards and you're at the end, thank you anyway. If you watched it for just a few moments and you're still listening to this, then thank you anyway. So, thank you anyway, and I'll see you in the next movie.